Hello, my name is Gordon De Silva, and let's get started with the training.
Hello and welcome. And I've got a few of you guys on the line. I can see there's about 35 of you on this afternoon. I know from me right now, it's a little bit wet and damp. And I think it's probably, had the weather been much better, maybe some of you would have found something better to do. But I'm glad you're here because we're going to be talking today about hands-free and online bookkeeping. This is a really important subject for all of you in business because it's all about getting the most out of every pound, every minute, every piece of effort you put into your business. And we're all about that. Our firm is all about getting businesses to perform to the top of their game because life's tough out there, right? Business is tough out there. There's a lot of competition. There is a lot of distractions. Time is at a premium. Cost of living is going up, and so all of these things play a part in making sure that we do the best we can with everything we've got. So that's what this is all about. Let's get started and discuss why this is important. Uh, uh, if you can hear me, I've muted all of you on the call. I appreciate all of you coming along. There's Sarah, Rob, and Sanjay, and Peter, and Alan, and that's a whole load of you. So welcome aboard, all of you. And I've muted you all because sometimes when it's unmuted, there's a lot of background noise at your end. I've tried to control my environment to get you the best quality audio you can. There may be the odd fire engine or ambulance that goes past, but that'll be a mind, and hopefully it's not coming from me, so we're okay. So let's get back to why it's important. We have a rule that says that every business in the UK has to keep good quality records. This is a rule that's set in law. It's demanded by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs and, of course, Companies House. To the extent you don't do this, you can be fined up to £3,000. Worse than that, though, is you can, in fact, be challenged with any of your figures without any defense. Now that would be horrible, wouldn't it? To be able to, for the revenue to go, well, I don't think you made 50,000. I think you made 100,000. We want the tax on 100, and you've got no defense. If you haven't kept good books and records, the judge will just go, well, the revenue said you had to keep good books and records. You didn't. They said you made 100,000. I'm going with that. There's no defense. So, that's clearly one area we need to do that. The second area why it's important is that we do understand we need to keep paperwork. Every business I work with understands they've got to keep receipts and raise sales invoices and stuff. So it is important that, and we all understand there is lots of paperwork, and it is a distraction. If we don't love paperwork, if we don't love filing and keeping track of all this paperwork, then this is important to us, isn't it? Is making that whole thing more efficient. And the thing that I think we miss a lot in business, when I meet small businesses more than larger businesses, the smaller businesses I meet, they miss the one critical thing that they should be focusing on in terms of their accounting records, and that is giving them the information, giving themselves the information with which to run their business profitably, to run their business really well, because by doing that, they will be able to run a more profitable business, so a business where they have better decision making, better quality activities. For example, if clients aren't paying, get onto them very quickly, because we live in times where if we don't chase a debt and it goes bust, we've lost it, right? So we want to get that information to ourselves fast to take action on it, and if we don't, it could cost us money. Let me just explain who I am. My name's Gordon De Silva. I'm a chartered accountant. I've been an accountant for more years than I care to probably remember, over 30 odd years in this business, running my own business. Very successful. We've been in various books, and we've won various contests and stuff of best UK accountant, that sort of thing. And I don't want to go too much on that because we've only got 30 minutes together today, as promised, because it is a Saturday and I want to get this subject out to you. So have a look online and you'll find whatever you need about me. I do speak a little bit quickly. I am passionate about what I do, and it just, yeah, I get excited, and I'm not apologizing for that. I love what I do. I love helping businesses do better. That's just me. So listen fast, take notes, and if you have any questions, just write them down, and just type them in, and we'll get to them. And if we don't get a chance to get to them during this 30 minutes, then by all means, email them in, and I will come back to you. And of course, at the end of that, at the end of this session, I will tell you where you can get help. I can offer you links to resources and stuff. I can offer you various bits. So stay tuned for that. And at the end, I'll give you some information on how you can get those. So let me ask you this question. Why is this important for you? Why have you turned up today? I got, Monica and Liam and David and Mahmood and Sarah and Sanjay. Tell me a little bit about why you're interested in this topic. Why did you log on for this um, workshop to help you get your accounts online and bookkeeping online for a more efficient, more profitable service? That's a leading question there, right there, right? So let me have a sip of water while you type in your answers in the answer box there, please. Yes, Sanjay. Yeah, the weather is a bit poor today. Mm. Oh, that water's good. Okay, so let's see what you've got. So some of you are saying, Sarah, yeah, it takes too much time. Alan, expensive software. How can it be done cheaper? Raj, keep track of who owes me money. Yeah, that's really important. Uh, Liam, what we've got, find something my company can use. So you're obviously you're looking for something at the moment. And you're also saying it's hard to share my information with my bookkeeper and accountant. Okay, got it. Yeah, I understand that, and you'll find covers all of that. Oh, Mahmood saying he really doesn't understand bookkeeping, doesn't like it, and uh, Rob saying his accountant always has to spend more time fixing his mistakes. Fair enough. Okay, let's carry on then. So you'll have a vested interest in this topic. So let's get going. Uh, so I always look to focus on results. I look to find out what is the end product we're looking for, because if we know what the end product is, and I do this in business, I do this in accounts, I do this in goal setting, I do this, whatever I do, marketing, I'm always looking at what the result is first, result we want, and then work backwards from there. So the result we want, I think, from all the businesses I talk to, and I probably talk to at least 30 or 40 businesses a week, every week, because that's my job. They all want less paperwork, and of course they want less fees. They want us to be more efficient as accountants, and they want the paperwork to be handled effortlessly. At the moment it isn't. They've got to keep boxes and files, and that's just a bit annoying for them. They want the paperwork to be easy to retrieve and search for. So if that's the case, then this is exactly what we're going to be looking at and making sure that does that. They want fast reporting. They realize that if they have to wait 6 months, a year, 3 months for who owes them money, how much money they've made, which bits are working, which bits are not working, are they on target, are they not on target? If they have to wait all that time, they're going to miss opportunities. And so they want fast reporting. They want to make better decisions. So they want to know what's happening now, what's right, and carry on doing what's good, and stop or change what's not working very well, or what's working badly, or who's not paying them, or whatever. So they want to make better decisions based on all of that. And ultimately, the holy grail is to make more profits. And yeah, we all want that, because it is critical that we continue to grow, because a business that doesn't grow is probably going to fail, because everything's moving on. So we need to keep up. We need to, in fact, exceed that, and grow our businesses, because that's really the only way of making sure we stay in the game. The old way, if we just cover that briefly, is lots of paperwork, filing and storage. We as a business used to have, we have a really long wall in our reception. It's about 25, 30 foot long. And against the whole wall, we had filing cabinets, wall to wall, and virtually, we have quite high ceilings. So it wasn't quite floor to ceiling, but it was, floor to about 6.5 foot, 7 foot high. And it was jam packed with files, just huge amounts of paperwork. If you walk into our office today, you will see some paperwork on desks as stuff comes in the post from the revenue typically, or from a few clients who are still in the old method. But generally, certainly there's no filing cabinets along the wall. All of that is gone, and all our stuff is now online in secure storage. So paperwork does not have to be something we have to live with. It's a choice you have. If you're living with paperwork, you've made that choice not to move on. And the whole thing you're on this program for is hopefully helping you understand how you can move on and how you can reduce the amount of paperwork. We The old way is to probably hire bookkeepers. I don't mean that in a derogatory. Bookkeepers are great. If you've got a great bookkeeper, hold on to them like gold, because they are worth their weight in gold. Absolutely amazing people, and definitely keep them for your gold. But most businesses I speak to, they haven't. They're doing their books themselves now. If you haven't got anything better to do than do your own books, great. If you haven't got time, if you haven't got activities like going out and calling potential customers, making your existing customers feel more loved, going out knocking on doors, getting some marketing developed, going on a course to develop some new skills, then yeah, great bookkeeping. On the other hand, if you really enjoy bookkeeping and you really love it, you love all that paperwork and spreadsheets and typing in bits of data. If you love all of that, brilliant. Enjoy yourself, make it a hobby, but do it during hobby time. Don't do it during business time. Do it during hobby time. But the rest of us who don't have decent bookkeepers, or can't find good bookkeepers, or have bookkeepers who go absent, or go sick, they have maternity pay, they leave, they've got to be replaced. If you start looking at how much all of that costs you in delay and replacement and sick leave and all of that sort of stuff, you will begin to realize that it's quite an expensive pastime, is doing your own books. And what you get at the end of it is half useful reports, and often late. Sometimes a week late, sometimes 3 months late, and sometimes they're not even very useful, because bookkeepers are bookkeepers. They're not there to understand data. They're there to process numbers. They don't know how to present numbers. So the reports are usually of limited value, and as a result, there's no decision-making information readily at your disposal. And I sort of, one of the analogies I use quite a lot in the things I do and say is, we're talking about this sat nav for business. If I was going to somewhere I didn't know, and it was in the dark of night, I would certainly have my lights on in my car, and I'd probably have my sat nav guiding me, telling me where the corners are, telling me where to turn left, and giving me advance warning of hazards. And if I take a wrong turn, it would tell me to turn back or take the next right and the next right, and so on, and get me back on track. If you don't have decent accounts and decent information, then what you're doing is you're basically driving that route in the dark with the lights out. You're making gut feels. You're going, "Whoa, I think I should turn right now." Can you imagine that? That would be hugely scary, wouldn't it? So be aware that this quality of decision, the old way of not having that information right to hand when you need it, as you need it, on a regular basis, you're missing opportunities to grow your business and make more profits. The new way is technology. Technology has moved along in leaps and bounds over the last 10 years, in the last 5 years, amazingly. And now every year, in fact, every 6 months, we're getting new technology, new improvements of the technology we use to make it even more useful, make it even more user-friendly, make it even more effective and efficient to use. So technology has got the edge now. The choice is not to have paper, and subject to the temporary paper we have on our desk as it passes through our processing, we have no paper. Everything, if I wanted to find something, I could probably find it in minutes using our CRM system. I won't talk about that too much right now. Our CRM system and our Dropbox and our scanning system and our referencing system, I'd be able to find it in minutes, no matter how long ago it was, whether it was last year or 2 years ago or 5 years ago. It's at my disposal, and it's all backed up superbly. It's easy to access and search. I think I've sort of covered that enough. You can, as long as I have my machine in front of me and access to the internet, I can find and access the information. So that's how good it is, how easy it is. And it reports when you want it. If you want it on a Saturday at 2:00, like you're on this webinar now, you can have it on Saturday at 2:00. Whether or not the accountant's online or the bookkeeper's online, you can have the report you want by logging in, picking the report you want. after you learn where it is, of course, and that's just a training process. And then you have that report. You have who owes you money, how much money you've made, even in the last week, in the last day, in the last month, in the last 6 months. You can choose the time frame. It's ultimately up to you what you want and how you take it out and what decisions you then can make from it. And of course, there's no recruitment hassles if you don't have to hire a bookkeeper and let somebody else deal with that. I don't do my own plumbing and I don't do my own repairs because it always takes me longer and I make a mess of it. So why would I want to do that? It's much quicker and more efficient for the right person to do the right job, and then I don't have to worry about finding a garage every time I want to service my car and so on. And it's definitely secure and super easy. And we'll talk more about security and simplicity in due course. So typically there are four sources of income. Of paperwork, sorry. So the four sources of paperwork, there may be one or two tiny exceptions to this rule. I haven't come across them recently, so I didn't factor them into this program. So let's cover these four main sources, and you probably see it covers 99.9% of everything you're going to be coming across, I suspect. There's paper. There's paper invoices. There's paper receipts that you get from coffee shops. So there's bits of paper. And that's the first source. It's now a diminishing source, right? And we now get only about 10 to 15% of our paperwork, of our expenses and stuff through paper. Email is our main source of paper, so of invoicing. So if accounting information of invoices in, and of course our sales invoices out, emails are our main source of that. It comes in by email, and the worst thing you could do for an email invoice is to have to print it out and put it in a file. That is really a waste of time, resources, waste of trees, waste of toner, waste of electricity. It's just a waste, okay? And of course, you have PayPal. I mean, if you're like me, you buy stuff online. You probably use your PayPal account quite a lot. I use mine quite a lot to pay different suppliers and buy stuff on eBay or Amazon and stuff, books and whatever. And I pay courses on PayPal through Eventbrite and stuff. So yeah, PayPal is really used a lot. And cash and credit card, if you use cash for buying coffees, paying for petrol, or card receipts for paying for petrol and goods, maybe in Sainsbury's or Tesco's, they supply all sorts of stuff now, or the local stationery store. Then of course you'll have paper, you'll have card and cash receipts, which are typically a type of paper. So how do we handle those four sources? Basically, there's key methods. For the paper, there's two ways of doing it. We put it in a tear-proof, waterproof envelope, and then you just drop it in the post, free post, and it gets to our system, and our system scans it for you and then sticks it onto your accounting process, if that's the service you want. You can also scan it if you've got a scanner and put it into a Dropbox, and the Dropbox is then picked up and put into your accounting program. Alternatively, if you want to email it in, you can obviously scan it and then email it into an email address we'll give you, which ends up in your accounts. If you have an email, a lot of paperwork, as I said, 85% of ours comes by email. You just forward that email to an auto forward them to an email address we give you, and it ends up in your accounts, right? And when I say ends up in your accounts, I mean the PDF is extracted from the email and put into your accounts. So when you go into your accounts and you want to see a copy of that invoice, you don't have to go in and open an email. No, you go in and you find the PDF and you open the PDF, and it's up on your screen. You can refer to it. And if you insist, you can print it out, and then, or if you need to take it to a supplier in hard copy, you can do that by printing it out and taking it to your supplier. If it's PayPal, you can just auto forward all the PayPal invoices to the email address we give you, which is attached to your accounting records as well. And if it's cash and card receipts, a bit like paper, you can post, scan, and put into your Dropbox. Or of course, if you have your mobile handy, which 99.9% of you would have, then you would just take a picture with your mobile phone, and that picture then gets sent to our department, which is then attached to your accounting records. So you can begin to see paperless really could be paperless. So, pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. So let's look at some other considerations, and then we'll take a breather and see how you're doing on this workshop. People will talk to me about security, And the security on the software we recommend is all bank quality security, so all encrypted, all high quality, and so you're covered with that. Bank statements, people sometimes have 100 items on a bank statement a month, or sometimes 400 a month. Uh, Now, the old way would be somebody keying that in, right? That is, oh my goodness, that is so old as a way, right? The better way would be just to go click a couple of buttons and then import all your bank transactions into your accounting software. So the figures are always right, the dates are always right. All then we have to do is then do the analysis. Isn't doesn't that sound a lot better? Can you imagine 100 transactions? It would take a minute to 3 minutes per transaction. I would suggest probably more 3 minutes if you're a reasonably quick bookkeeper per transaction. So that's 300 minutes, 5 hours. It could probably take about 15 minutes to import it, and then probably another hour if you do that. If you use some of our software, probably about another hour or two just to analyze it, and if it's a repetitive one, it takes even less. So that is the quality of getting this off your plate and into someone where we can get the right information dealt with quickly and efficiently, so you can spend more time running your business, growing your business. Credit cards, again, just download and scan them, and we end up getting those into your accounting records. Really easy and reconciled. Of course, at any time you can search online. You can go into the accounting program or into the scanning program. It's all indexed on PDF, so you can just type in a supply, you can type in a date, you can type in an amount or date range or an amount range, and the search results come out and get fed to you. You can then choose the one you want. Up it comes on screen. And like I said, if you want it, you can print it out and do whatever you need to it. Otherwise, you just refer to it and take the information you need from it. The other day, I was looking for a telephone receipt for not actually a telephone bill, but I bought a telephone, and I had to find it from 2 years ago. And I just went in. It took me about 3 minutes to find the telephone. I looked it up, gave them the invoice number, and I was moving forward. So that's how easy and fast it is. And of course, it's HMRC approved. If it wasn't, then obviously you'd have to then scan it and file it. But now once it's scanned, you can just destroy. Okay, because it's all backed up and all that sort of good stuff. So let's take a breather and have a think. We've covered a lot of ground. I did apologize for talking quickly. I didn't apologize for being passionate, but I did apologize for talking quickly. What has been the most helpful to you so far? We've got a few minutes left to go, and so before I sort of cover the last few minutes, just think about what has been the most helpful to you so far, and just type it in the box below and tell me which bits have been most helpful for you so far, please. What hot cup of coffee. Oh, lovely. Very good. I'm getting some messages here. All right. So some of you are saying, Rob, yeah, you like the idea that you don't have to do any filing. I like that. Yeah, I hated filing when I was a junior accountant, and I hate the idea of people just standing there trying to put bits of paper in a cabinet in the right place, hopefully. Sanjay, okay, being able to do it online 7 day, doing it on a Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, midnight, 2 a.m, whatever floats your boat. It's available for you. All you need is an internet connection. That's right. And one of the things is, if your accountant also has an internet connection, they can just log in anytime. So if you want advice from your accountant, so some of our clients may ask us for advice. Before we give that advice, we look for information to base it on. So if they ask us, why are we short of cash flow, we will first go and look at their accounts and go, look, where's the money going? Right? Because just saying why is cash flow so tight, it's impossible. I could guess in the dark, but my guess is going to be probably a little bit better than theirs because I've got the experience, but not much, right? So get the information in, look at it, give them the answer based on real life information, which is much more powerful. Very good. Not having a bookkeeper. Yeah, Raj, you took a while to hire your last bookkeeper, right? And they're proving okay. Well, that's good. You've got a good bookkeeper. Hold on to them, treat them really well. Keep fingers crossed, they don't leave. Because if you got one, great. But if you don't have one, you've got to decide: are you in the job of recruiting, or are you in the job of getting your your business flowing and let somebody else do what they can do if they can do it. Uh, some of my clients had 2, 3 bookkeepers before they used our service. Now they natural wastage and stuff. They were coming up to retirement. They left. They didn't replace them. Just swapped into our service. They've got 3 desks spare, so there's less overhead. They don't have to. They don't have the space they need, and if they had the ability, they don't have right now because they got a lease on the premises. But if they could just downsize, couldn't they? And so let's just carry on. Yeah, there's some good comments there. Thank you very much for typing that in the box. I'll have a look at them after we finished, and it's been very interesting. Thank you so much for that. So I promised you at the beginning I'd tell you where we can help you and where we can guide you to get more help for yourself. The first thing is if you want to know which software we recommend, we've tested them, we use them, so I'm happy to put my name to the fact that they're good. So we use a few accounting bits of software. The other bits that link in, which the scanning bits and the stuff, they're more proprietary, that work with accountants. But again, we can help you get that linked in. If you're a client, then obviously we can work with you on all of those. But if you're not a client, then of course we can help you with the accounting software. The other bits you'd have to source yourself if it's available to the public. There's free trials in all of this. We give a 30-day trial and of course demonstrations. If you want to book in a demonstration for an accounting to see how the accounting software works, how you can take literally 3 minutes to do a sales invoice. Absolutely. That invoice is then saved, PDF, emailed to your customer. You can send statements from that. You can, anytime you want, you can calculate the interest owing if they pay late. All of that. I mean, that has changed some of my clients' lives. I've had clients who really hated the idea of internet accounting, and now they would fight me to stay on it. Right? And I'm talking about people who really are not internet friendly in the main. Right? They're more hands-on people. One of my clients is a transport company, and he's more used to fixing trucks and driving trucks. And when I first introduced, he would fight me tooth and we don't need this, we don't. I just do it on Word, it's fine. Once he got into it, now if I threatened to take that away, he would kill me. I'm sure he would. So it is, it's something you just got to experience a bit, try it a bit, and give it a bit of time. It's a bit like your new smartphone. When you got your new smartphone, if you haven't had that model before, you probably had to get used to where the buttons were, where the camera button was, and the telephone button was, and your favorites and all that sort of stuff. Whereas it's the same with the software. You just got to get into it. Once you're into it, it'll save you huge amounts of time, pay massive dividends. We have help videos for all our clients who use our services. We have help videos on the products they use, on how to raise invoices, how to do expenses, how to do bank reconciliation, all these sort of things that can help make your accountant's life easier, bring their fees down, bring their time down. If that's what you're aiming for, right? If that's what you want, it can do that as well. All the clients who use our done for you service get a discount on our accountancy fee because the accountants don't have to work so hard on getting the accounts right because the bookkeepers have got it right. So it often pays for itself very quickly. We have hand-holding and training. As a client of ours, we don't offer a service just doing bookkeeping and accounts. Okay, that's not our model. It's if you're an accounting client, then yes, we will help you with your accounts. But if you're not an accounting client, then we just don't supply accounting software. There just isn't anything in it for us. We don't charge a margin on it. Some of the accounting stuff is free, and some of it is so low cost. There's no way we can make a margin on it. It's just so we just give it away at cost or free even. And of course, we have this done for you service where you just scan everything in, put it in envelopes, and our team just go and just puts it into your accounting software where you can get access to it anytime you like. We've got a couple of minutes, and I want to make sure I cover fees because we're all in business, right? And you all want to know, how much is this thing going to cost? Is it going to cost an arm and a leg? Is it going to be a fortune? Can I afford it? You may or may not want to afford it if you love bookkeeping, if it's a hobby for you, fantastic. But if it isn't and you think, well, if I could have my 2 hours back or 3 hours back a week I do my bookkeeping for, that would really help me move my business forward by being able to make 20 or 30 more calls to prospect clients or clients looking for more business. So our fees are roughly between 75 and £1 a transaction for most businesses. Some businesses are a little bit more complex. We have some businesses that have invoice discounting and factoring. Those are a little bit more. They sometimes £1.20, sometimes even more. If clients pay part invoices, stage payments, that can cost a bit more to figure out what's going on. Or you could do it yourself. That bit you could do yourself, and we could do everything else. We have most of our clients will raise an invoice and get paid for it. Most of them will have an expense and pay for it. And so those are where the £75 to £1 a transaction comes in. The fees include scan handling, storage, bookkeeping, access for 7 years, linking to the accounts, reconciliations, and even your online accounts for free. For every accounting client, we offer them at least one software free for accounting software. For those who want a premium software, there's a small additional charge of up to £20. It's no more than £20 ever. And so that £20 covers the accounting software. So really very, very affordable. It used to be, when I remember, accounting software used to cost £4,000 or £5,000 or even £600. Sage Line 50, I think, £600, and then you've got to pay maintenance every year. This is just £20 a month, and you're always up to date. And of course, it includes reporting regularly or on request. So we'll have regular reports, and then if you want something specifically, just ask us and we can talk about getting you the extra reports or when you want. So we've reached the end of our time. So let's just cover the next steps. You can get a 10-minute check-in followed by, if it's right for you, a 45-minute consultation, an hour consultation, to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. We're looking for clients we can work with and help. You're looking for somebody who can help you with your specific problems. If it's a good fit, we move forward. If it isn't, we part as friends. We have a choice of packages depending on how much or how little you want and where you think you get the most return on investment. So you can choose one of our packages, and then we can get started. To get started, all you need to do is call the telephone number or email us at that email address. I'll leave that on screen for a couple of minutes. And just part by saying thank you, all of you. It's been fun. If hopefully you've got something out of it, please leave a message on here telling us how you found it. If you're listening to a recording of this, and there is going to be a recording, so if you want a recording, because I have talked quite quickly, please request a recording, and it'll be made available to you very quickly. Just send us, if you are watching the recording, please put some feedback down below and tell me what you got out of it and what else you'd like to know on the next workshop that we do for free for businesses. I look forward to speaking to you really soon. In the meantime, take care of yourself and, of course, of business. I'm Gordon De Silva, and I look forward to being of service to you in the future. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching this training. Please share it, like it, maybe tell us how well you did with it, and give us some feedback. I look forward to speaking to you on the next training. Till then, goodbye.